In this episode, thank you. Hello and welcome back to the Project Management Podcast at pm-podcast.com. This is episode 500 and I'm Cornelius Fichtner. Thank you for joining me. As a reminder, this is a video episode, so if you are only getting audio, then please visit pm-podcast.com/500 to play the video version. Yeah, who would have thought in September of 2005 that we would be here today? Launching the Project Management Podcast back then definitely changed my career from IT project manager to recognized voice in the field. And that recognition is both figuratively and literally speaking, because more than once at conference, other project managers, upon hearing my voice, would walk up to me, excitedly point to their phone and say, "I listen to you all the time." It took a bit of getting used to that type of S-list celebrity status. But none of this could have happened without you. Thank you for being a listener. Thank you for subscribing to the PM Podcast. And if you are or have been a premium subscriber, then thank you for your financial support. Right now, I want to first take a quick look back and then also look into the future and show you what lies ahead for the Project Management Podcast. I had toyed with launching a podcast starting in about May of 2005, but it took me until September to publish episode 1. Then I went to the PMI Leadership Conference in Toronto. That's where all the pictures come from that you see here on the right. And I reported what, as a relatively new board member of the PMI Orange County chapter, I learned at that event. And I spread that out over 2 episodes, episode 2 and 4. And then in between, I decided that in episode 3, we would tackle project failure. Yeah, let's start with an easy topic. Let me show you a number. Here it is, 15,307,006. That is the number of unique downloads across all published podcast episodes. But that's only for the last 6 years, because unfortunately I lost access to the statistics from between 2005 and 2018. But if we extrapolate, the all-time total is going to be somewhere between 40 to 50 million unique downloads. Here is another number for you. Many of you are PMI certified and listen to the podcast to earn your PDUs. And because in just the last 5 months, 50,000 of you reviewed my instructions on how to claim PDUs, my guess is that over the past 19 years, you probably claimed at least 5 million PDUs with PMI for your recertification. And that number is probably way too low. And here are the top 30 countries where you are from. First, there is a strong North American dominance with the USA, Canada, and Mexico making up around 50% of the downloads. We also have a very strong listener base in Europe. That's the 10 blue countries here, and Asia, 8 countries, each of them about a third of the downloads. And then I always found it notable to see such a strong presence from Middle Eastern countries in the top 10. Particularly Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates have always been in the top 10 here. But in the end, no matter where you are from, I appreciate that you are here. I appreciate that you are a listener. We're still looking back, and here is my first guest. The arrival of the first guest that took until episode 6 when I welcomed Christine Hayes Munson, who isn't just a good friend, but who also happened to be my boss at the time. She's been on the program 6 more times since then for a total of 7 interviews. And those 7 interviews, that is 11 interviews fewer than my number 1 guest has. And that number 1 guest is, drumroll please, Elizabeth Harron, with a total of 18 interviews across topics as diverse as social media, stakeholder management, and artificial intelligence. With Margaret Maloney, who is in second place with 16 interviews, we focused mainly on the softer side of project management, and surprisingly, the bronze medal goes to Josh Nankivil with 12 interviews. And here it is remarkable that the last time he was on was 12 years ago. Hasn't done an interview since, and still manages to get in third place. And here are the runners-up. We have Peter Taylor with 11 interviews, Terry Dersher with 10, Suzanne Matson with 9, Jack Ferraro with 8, Jeff Furman with 8, Bill Dow with 7, Frank Saladis with 7, and Rich Maltzmont currently with 7, but pretty soon with 8. Thank you, not just to our top-ranking guests, but to everyone who has ever been a guest on the show for so generously sharing your knowledge with me and our audience and enriching our lives with your expertise and with your insights. Right, that's it for my quick look back. So, what's ahead? What's new and upcoming? Well, first of all, we have a new logo. Here it is. It's a very organic logo, and the 2 shapes, the orange and blue shapes that you see here, those are speech bubbles symbolizing the conversations that I have with my interview guests on the program. And then the square version on the right, that is the new podcast cover image. So this is the image that you'll see for us in online podcast directories, but also on your app when you play the podcast. This cover art is also available as a large version. Let me show you. Here we go. This is what you see if you are on a large screen, if you listen to or watch the podcast on a large screen. And the reason why we have this larger version, that can be summarized in one word: YouTube. Yes, the second update that we are working on right now is that the Project Management Podcast will soon be available on YouTube. About 35 to 40 or so of our episodes are already available as a YouTube playlist. And this list will soon be upgraded from a simple playlist to a full-featured YouTube podcast. I'll let you know as soon as it's available. And then over time, we will gradually roll out our complete episode archive to YouTube all the way back to episode 1. In that way, you can watch and listen to our full catalog over here. And then our third and final update will interest you if you are a premium subscriber with a paid monthly or yearly subscription plan. We've been using the same system to serve our premium subscriptions since about 2008. It's solid, it works, it's reliable, and it does exactly what it is supposed to do. But the user interface is clunky because it's been the same since 2008, and it doesn't look like that will change anytime soon. So we are in the process of looking for a new platform for our premium subscribers. This change will not happen overnight. I will be happy if we can complete this by the end of the year. And yes, I am not saying by the end of which year. And that's it for the past, the present, and future of your Project Management Podcast. So as we celebrate 500 episodes and nearly 20 years, I look back with quite a bit of pride of what I have achieved here, but also forward with excitement. Your continued support, by the way, is what drives my passion for delivering quality content. Thank you for being a loyal listener. Thank you for allowing me and my guests to improve your projects. And thank you for walking alongside me on this journey. And as always, until next time.